So my name is Vanja Černjul. I'm a director of photography, and I was invited by Panasonic to come to wonderful camera image, which is always a great experience, to talk about my recent experience of working with a VariCam 35 camera. What I like here about camera image is that it's not a film market, and people really are, nobody's trying to sell anything. We're just here to celebrate film and talk about film, and it's a beautiful just to catch up with a lot of friends from all other places in the world. Everybody comes from Europe, from the States, from Asia, and we all meet here once a year. It's really amazing. I just wrapped shooting of a new HBO series called The Deuce, which was created by David Simon. David Simon is famous for his TV series The Wire, which is now a classic, and it was just probably the best written material I had in my hands for a long time. And knowing David Simon's work and his commitment to authenticity, the story of The Wire takes place in Manhattan in the 1970s. And I knew David Simon was going to be obsessed by being as period accurate as possible, and I wanted to come up with a shooting style that would support that. And around that time I heard about VariCam 35 and the dual native sensitivity sensor that sends 5000 ISO, has 5000 ISO sensitivity, which I found hard to believe at the time. So I wanted to test it and see if that would be the camera that would help me support this style. And after initial tests, I was really amazed how well the camera performed in low light levels. And it just allowed me to go into territories that I haven't been able to go to before. Shooting at such a low light levels that it's really a completely new experience. I was able to use light sources as a key sources that I was never able to use before. Like, for example, a dinner in the restaurant, I would light the whole scene around the candle, one candle on the table. Shooting at the dark alleys where we would just use car headlights as the only lighting source, things like that. And it was a process getting accustomed to this way of working, but I think we came up with a unique look that at this time was only possible to create with the technology that VariCam has. So I heard about the VariCam Pure, which is supposed to come up in January, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. It'll be a first camera I'll test for my next project. My next project is going to be a feature film, and we are going to shoot it in RAW because it's going to be we'll do it for theatrical release, hopefully. So it's very important to me to shoot it in RAW. It's beautiful to be able to go so deep into the shadows, but one problem that cinematographers encounter when working in that way is protecting the highlights. Because to expose for the shadows and not lose the highlights has always been a struggle. That was one of the areas that I was really impressed with the VariCam, how well it preserves the highlights. But also, while shooting RAW and using the HDR technology, it allows you to maintain the detail in highlights that was impossible before. So shooting with available light sources, for example, if you shoot with fire, let's say you use a brazier as a main lighting source. I did a project that took place in 13th century recently, which the main light sources are braziers and torches and things like that. So if you want to use fire, for example, as as the main source in the scene and expose for it, you lose all the details in the flame, and it becomes like basically like a white hole. Working with RAW and HDR, you are able to bring all that information from the highlights back and really use natural sources as your main sources and completely cut out the movie lights, which is very exciting. The most exciting thing about working with VariCam is the flexibility that it gives you with the ISO settings. And once you experience that freedom, it's really hard to go back. And VariCam is the only camera on the market today that is able to offer such freedom. And that's why it's my camera of choice right now.